En la predicación de esta semana aprendemos cómo Moshe Rabenu le pidió y le rogó a Kadosh Baruj Hu que quería entrar a Eretz Israel. ¿Qué quería Moshe Rabenu? Subir un escalón más en su vida. Algo que no tenía en su Abodat Hashem y servir a Hashem, quería hacerlo. ¿Y cómo lo hizo? 515 rezos. Y todos nosotros nos preguntamos, ¿cómo le pidió a Hashem? ¿Qué fue lo que hizo Moshe Rabenu? Que llegó un punto que Hashem le dijo, hasta aquí. Si pides una vez más, vas a entrar. Dice el Penei Yoshua, ¿qué fue lo que rezó Moshe Rabenu? La midá. 515 veces significa Shachrit, Minha, Arbit, otro día Shachrit, Minha, Arbit, y así hasta que llegó a 515 rezos, para que apreciemos lo que es rezar frente a Kadosh Baruj Hu, para que apreciemos la fuerza que tiene la midá. Pregunta el Shla Kadosh, dice, nosotros a veces pensamos que hay rezos que hacemos que no se responden. Pedimos a veces la llegada del Mashiach, y no vemos que llegó el Mashiach. Dice el Mabit que sepas que cada rezo que tú haces por la Geulá, cada rezo que tú haces por la llegada del Mashiach, aunque tú no ves que se reveló la salvación final en tu vida, en tus detalles, en lo que tú necesitas, te está mandando la salvación. Cualquier cosa que necesitas protección, puede ser que te salvaste por esa tefilá que tú hiciste por la Geulá. Aparte, dice Shla Kadosh, tienes que saber que cada tefilá que tú haces, dice en Hayat Abyudbet, un ángel agarra el rezo y le pone una corona a Kadosh Baruj Hu. Significa tú con tus tefilot estás dando un placer a Hashem, un honor a Hashem, que aunque tú no ves el fruto, ese ya es un fruto. El hecho que estás coronando a Boreolam Itbaraj. Pero dice el Orahaim Kadosh que de Baet Hanan se aprenden las 4 reglas que necesita todo rezo para ser escuchado. Baet Hanan significa ruégale a Hashem, ruégale con misericordia, como una persona necesitada que pide y pide. El Hashem, y pídele por su misericordia ilimitada. No le pidas porque yo me merezco a Hashem, mira todo lo que yo ya hice, mira mis zehuyot. Así no se pide. El Hashem por la misericordia de Kadosh Baruj Hu. Baet Ahi, ¿qué significa Baet Ahi? Busca momentos de trazón. Hay momentos que el cielo está abierto. Cuando rezas con Minyan, el cielo está abierto. Erev Rosh Chodesh está abierto. Cuando rezas el corazón, el cielo está abierto. Después de la medianoche, el cielo está abierto. Usa esos momentos de trazón. Lemor, y tienes que explicar lo que necesitas. Dice Rapin Kusa Kadosh Baruj Hu, creó una regla en la creación. Que cómo se ven tus situaciones en la vida, según como tú se las explicas y se las expresas en tu rezo. Si tú dices, Hashem, esto es necesario para mí, me urge, no puedo más, te van a salvar así. Si dices, bueno, Hashem, esto es lo que yo necesito, así de grave lo ven en el Shamayim, y ese es el tiempo que va a tomar hasta que te respondan. Lemor, tú tienes que explicarle a Hashem la situación que estás pasando. Dice que había un niño que su hermano se enfermó, Barminan. La mamá le dijo, ve a donde el Rebe de Gur y pídele verajá. Pero no te vas de ahí hasta que no te asegure que tu hermanito se va a curar. Ok. El niño fue donde el Rebe de Gur, se puso en la fila como todos, llegó frente al Rebe, le dijo que su hermano estaba enfermo, y el Rebe le dijo, Refuah Shlema. Y el niño se quedó parado. Le dice, niño, ¿qué haces aquí parado? Anda en la fila, hay más gente en la fila. No, mi mamá me dijo que hasta que el Rebe no me asegure, yo no me muevo de aquí. Le dijo el Rebe, reza, lee Teilim. Y el niño le dice, ¿y cómo yo voy a saber cuando leí Teilim que me contestaron como usted está asegurando? ¿Quién me asegura eso? Le dijo el Rebe, escucha esto. Cuando tú rezas Teilim y no paras de rezar hasta que sientes que se bajó la tensión, cuando sientes que se bajó la tensión es un sentimiento que te da Hashem para que sepas que tu tefilá fue contestada. Y eso es lo que dice el Sfat Emet Imre Shamayim, que a Kadosh Baruj Hu le da a la persona cuando hace una tefilá y otra tefilá y otra tefilá un sentimiento, mi tefilá fue recibida. Ya siento diferente el ambiente, ya siento que me escucharon. Y esa es la fuerza que tiene cuando una persona reza de corazón. Nosotros nos acercamos a días muy especiales. Está escrito que no hubo días increíbles para Israel como Tu B'Av y Yom Kippur. Compararon a Tu B'Av con Yom Kippur. ¿Cómo puede ser? Y dice que salían las mujeres en rondas para que las busquen y se casen con ellas. ¿Qué es lo que nos quiere enseñar Hazal? Escuché una explicación increíble de Rab Gabriel Abbo. Te quiere enseñar que una persona que hasta ahorita tenía atorado la opción de casarse, no le estaba yendo, salió con uno, salió con otro, no le va, Tienes que saber que hay un momento que se llama etratzón. Hay un momento que el mazal se cambia para bien. Y ese es un momento de oportunidad. Como dijimos, tienes que Baethanan, ruega el Hashem, por la misericordia ilimitada de Akadosh Baruj Hu. Baet ahí, pero busca momentos de etratzón. Busca momentos que el Shaim está abierto y esa es la fuerza que tiene tu Beab. Quiera Akadosh Baruj Hu que todas nuestras tefilot sean recibidas le razón frente a Akadosh Baruj Hu, Baet ahí, con todas las tefilot de Amisal Bezat Hashem.
Hola a todos mis queridísimos amigos de Panamá, de verdad, cuánto los quiero, cuánto los extraño. Estoy muy emocionado de participar en este precioso evento. Yo soy Rab Abraham Cohen de México y les quiero decir unas palabras. Estamos en una época donde cada vez nos damos cuenta cómo el mundo se mantiene de lo espiritual y no solamente de lo físico. Estamos en un mundo donde hay investigaciones científicas, física cuántica, donde ya se demostró que los pensamientos de la persona tienen una influencia en el mundo físico, en el mundo material. No quiero entrar en todos los detalles, pero quiero transmitirles el Nefesh HaChaim. Dice el Nefesh HaChaim que todo en el mundo tiene una parte física y una parte espiritual. Todo está compuesto por materia y por energía espiritual. La energía espiritual es lo que le da vida a todo. La persona muchas veces llega a un lugar y dice, ay, aquí me siento contento, aquí no me siento cómodo, aquí. El mundo está cargado de energía y cada lugar donde la persona entra, toca, habla, transmite energía y se contagia de energía. Los seres humanos somos transmisores de energía espiritual, somos receptores de energía espiritual. Es que es algo muy importante. ¿Cuál es la energía espiritual más fuerte que existe en el mundo? Cuando la persona estudia Torah Kedosha. El Nefesh HaChaim dice, en el momento que la persona estudia Torah, hay una energía que se crea en el mundo, que mantiene el mundo, que le da vida al mundo. El Midrash dice que cuando la persona estudia Torah, recibe abundancia, tranquilidad, paz, bendición, salud, bienestar. La energía central del universo, que mantiene el universo, es la Torah Kedosha. Rab Chaim Kanievski dijo, no libraja. Jajá más grande de la generación, de Jutuya Genaleno, se dedicó a estudiar Torah toda su vida. No ocupó ningún puesto en particular, no era Rosh Yeshivat, no daba clases, estudiaba Torah día y noche. Cientos de historias de primera fuente, de personas que fueron con él, le dijeron, jajá, necesito esto en mi vida, en el negocio, para los hijos, para el shidduch, para la parnasa, para lo que quieras. ¿Qué les decía Rab Chaim Kanievski? Estudia más Torah. Conéctate con esa energía espiritual que es la energía espiritual más potente del mundo. El Zohar HaKadosh dice, Hashem Itbaraj, el pueblo de Israel, y la Torah Kedosha es una energía, es la misma energía espiritual, la misma energía de Hashem, del creador del universo. La persona no entiende la paz, el bienestar y lo que radia en el lugar. Para mí es importante este punto. Una persona que esté estudiando Torah, ¿qué dice la Gemara? Una persona que dice, ¿para qué sirve este jajam? Está estudiando Torah, ¿para qué ganamos? Dice el Hazonish, una persona estudia Torah aquí. Toda la ciudad tiene bendición. No se olviden que cuando Dios iba a destruir Sodoma y Gomorra, vino Abraham y le dijo a Hashem, no lo destruyas. Vino Hashem y le dijo, la voy a destruir. Le dijo a Abraham, pero a lo mejor hay 50 tzadikim. A lo mejor hay 50 tzadikim. Por 50 tzadikim vas a destruir la ciudad. Dijo Hashem, no, si hay 50 no los destruyo. Bajó 45, 40, 30, 20, 10. Le dijo Abraham, si hay 10 tzadikim. Dijo Hashem, si hay 10 tzadikim no destruyó la ciudad. ¿Cómo? Ciudad de gente que se portaba mal, que generaba energía negativa en el mundo. Pero si hay 10 tzadikim, toda la ciudad tiene sentido que exista. No entendemos, dice la Torah Kedosha, lo que es la Torah Kedosha. No hay más. ¿Por qué la boca de un jajam verdadero, profundo, tiene esa fuerza? Que tiene Torah, es una boca que tiene Torah. Porque las comunidades donde se apoya la Torah, donde se estudia Torah, donde se crece la Torah, son comunidades que florecen en todos los aspectos. Una persona dice, quiero bendición para la ciudad. ¿Qué dice la Torah? Toda ciudad importante, no es una ciudad importante, si no hay 10 estudiantes que estudian Torah todo el día sin parar. Así dice la Gemara. Una ciudad, para que se llame ciudad importante, tiene que haber 10 personas que estén estudiando Torah todo el día. La Gemara dice, en el tiempo del Beit HaMikdash, todo el tiempo que estaba Rabbi, que era un jajam que estudiaba Torah sin parar, no podían entrar los romanos, no podían pisar la ciudad. ¿Pero qué tiene que ver un tzadik que esté estudiando Torah con los romanos del ejército? Tienes que entender cuál es la fuerza de la Torah. El Nefesh HaChaim, en el 4º capítulo, alarga en explicar la fuerza que tiene la Torah en el mundo. ¿Qué dice? ¿Qué decimos? Si no fuera por el estudio de Torah, el cielo y la tierra no caminarían. Yo estoy emocionado de esta nueva Yeshiva, que en Tu B'Av, este día tan impresionante, tan grandioso, un día la Torah dice que no hay días más bonitos en el pueblo de Israel como Tu B'Av y como Kippur. Kippur Tu B'Av, el día que se volvió a reiniciar el estudio de Torah, ahí hay que explicar todo lo que pasó en Tu B'Av, es un día maravilloso. Se va a cambiar el nombre de la Yeshiva y va a llevar el nombre de un grande en la historia del pueblo de Israel, de un grande en la historia de la comunidad de Panamá, Rab Levy. Va a ser la Yeshiva de Rab Levy. ¿Qué es de tan grande para la ciudad? Que recibieron a un tzadik de ese nivel en esa ciudad, un regalo de Hashem, que les dio un guía con ese nivel de luz, con ese nivel de claridad, con ese nivel de estudio de Torah, que transformó la comunidad de Panamá y la elevó y la fortaleció en todos los aspectos. Una comunidad de ejemplo para toda la diáspora. Una comunidad que cada persona que va a Panamá ve. Cada vez que una persona llega a esta preciosa comunidad, ve cómo crece la Torah, ve cómo la gente cada vez tiene más valores, más cercanía a Hashem, más emuná, más mitzvot. Y esto es gracias a este tzadik tan grande. Y estoy emocionado de ser partícipe hoy de este impresionante mosad, de este lugar nuevo, Bezrat Hashem Baraj, que va a llevar el nombre de Rab Levy. Estoy emocionado, les deseo éxito, les deseo verajá, que sigan creciendo la Torah de Panamá y con esta Torah de Panamá que la energía espiritual positiva, la energía de bendición se multiplique en Panamá en todos los ámbitos, para todas las personas, para todos los que apoyan esta causa, para todos los donadores, para los que la Torah dice Etz Chaim y la Mahazikim, es un árbol de vida, todo el que sostiene la Torah, un árbol de vida. Cuando una persona está en el mar, una persona está en el mar, de repente se está ahogando y le echan un árbol, se agarra del árbol. La pregunta es, ¿el árbol te salvó la vida a ti o tú agarraste al árbol? La persona está en el mar, le echan un árbol, dice, agarré un pedazo de madera, estoy flotando, estoy agarrando el árbol. No, el árbol te está cargando a ti. Dice la Torah, la persona que apoya la Torah, Etz Chaim, es un árbol de vida. Estás abrazado del árbol que te da la vida a ti. Muchas personas pensamos que damos en la vida. David Amelech dijo, que me meja a col, porque todo es tuyo, humilladeja Nandullah, de tu mano te dimos a ti. Porque ¿quién te da la vida? ¿Quién te da la inteligencia? Personas que a veces piensan, yo hago los negocios, no hay inteligentes en el mundo, sal al mundo a ver cuánta gente no inteligente es rica, cuánta gente inteligente no es tan rica. Jabobito de mi vida, entiende, no solamente el dinero, es la capacidad de vivir cada segundo, de tener salud, de tener tranquilidad, de tener paz. Poder agarrar y tener esa posibilidad de apoyar la Torah en una comunidad tan bonita, en un lugar que vaya el nombre de Rab Levy, un hombre que, un tzadik tan grande, que hizo tanto por Am Israel y tanto por Panamá, es un zehut grandísimo, que Hashem los bendiga con todas las bendiciones. Gracias por dejarme ser parte de este hermoso día, de este hermoso acontecimiento, que solamente veamos crecer a esta comunidad y florecer en todos los aspectos, todas las bendiciones.
I'm deeply grateful to Rab Gabriel Abbo in Panama for inviting me to speak to all of you at this very, very important campaign, which is called Cause Match. We are coming today to honor Torah learning, to support Torah learning, and more than anything else, to give honor and kavod to the great Chacham Sion Levy. You know, there is an expression in the Gemara, in the Talmud, that a person, a great person, is called Ish HaEshkolos. The literal meaning is, Eshkolos is many, many vines. But really what the Gemara says, what it means is Ish Sha'akol Boy, a person that has everything. And when we think about Chacham Sion Levy, and everything that he accomplished in the 57 years that he was in Panama, you could really say about him that Chacham Sion Levy was an Ish HaEshkolos. Not only was he a great Talmid Chacham, he was a posek, He ruled on every type of law. He was a mohel. He was a shochet. He was involved in kashrut. He built schools. He built shuls. And he built girls' schools as well, besides yeshivot. And it's interesting that the number 57 in Hebrew, the word zon, zayin nun, which means to nourish and to satiate. We know in Birchat HaMazon we say about Hashem, Hazon es hakoil, that Hashem nourishes everyone. We can say in a sense that Chacham Sion Levy was like Hashem. He had that midah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he satiated and he nourished all the Jewish people in Panama. He came in 1951. It was a small community. But by the time he passed away, 57 years later, the community not only had 10,000 Jews, but 6,000 of them were religious. He built the great community, Shevet Achim. And now, as a kavod and as dignity, and to remember him forever, the Yeshiva Har Sinai is now going to be renamed Yeshivat Chacham Sion Levy. What a great honor, what a great way to remember that person who influenced thousands and thousands of Panamanian Jews. I would like to tell you a beautiful story. Many years ago, in the upper part of England, there was a little boy who was walking with his Rabbi, and they were walking in the forest. It was an autumn day, beautiful day, and the leaves were orange and green and brown and red. And as they were walking, a leaf fell off a tree and landed on a park bench. And the Rebbe stopped and he picked up the leaf and he showed it to the little boy. And he said, "My child, I want to tell you something. You see, this leaf thinks that it's free. It could fly wherever it wants. But it doesn't realize that in 2 or 3 days he's going to wither and he's going to die. You know why? Because he's no longer connected to the tree. And that is the tree of life." And the Rebbe said to the little boy, "My child, as you get older, you will meet all kinds of Jews. And you're going to meet a Jew who's going to say, oh, I'm free. I could eat what I want. I could look at what I want. I could drive when I want. I could do what I want." But he doesn't realize, he thinks he's free. But if he's not connected to the Torah, to the Eitz Chaim, the tree of life, then he and his generations are going to wither and die. And you know, that little boy told me the story. That little boy today is the mashgiach of the great Lakewood Yeshiva Rav Matisyahu Solomon. He should have it a fuah shlema, Matisyahu Chaim ben Etel. And he told me that that lesson stays with him for life. The only way that we can remain a Jewish nation is if we hold on to the Torah, that we learn Torah and we support Torah. I'll tell you something amazing. Rabbi Chanan Wasserman, who was one of the great tzaddikim, the Gedolei Hador, in the 1930s and 1940s, he was a Talmud of the Chavetz Chaim. And he wrote in one of his Sefarim that he asked the Chavetz Chaim a question. We know in the Torah that the Malach, the angel, fought with Yaakov. So Rabbi Chanan asked his Rebbe, if the Malach wanted to get rid of the Jews, why didn't he first fight with Abraham Avinu or Yitzchak? Why did he wait to fight only with Yaakov? And the Chavetz Chaim said to him an amazing teretz, an amazing answer. And he said like this. He said, Abraham Avinu represented chesed, kindness. Yitzchak represented yirat shamayim, fear of Hashem and tefillah. But Yaakov represented Torah. And you know what the Chavetz Chaim said? He said it in Yiddish, but of course I'll translate in English. He said, the Satan, it doesn't mind, he doesn't care. A person could pray and do chesed and cry and fast all day as long as he doesn't learn Torah. And you know, Shlomo HaMelech wrote, Ki ner mitzvah v'Torah or. Every mitzvah is a candle, but Torah is the great light. And you know something? If you have a candle in a room, the door is closed, so a wind comes, nothing's going to happen. But as soon as you open that door, that wind will close and put out that fire, that nair. But when you have a huge fire and a wind comes, that's just going to make the fire grow greater. And that's what Mefarashim say. Every mitzvah is important, but chesed is only a ner mitzvah. That's not what's going to keep Jews, remaining Jews, from generation to the other. The same thing is with tefillah. But Torah, ki ner mitzvah v'Torah or. You ever hear about these great fires in acres and acres of land in Los Angeles, and the wind comes and it blows the fire and it makes it even stronger? So when you have the winds of immorality, materialism, and secularism, how are you going to fight it? The only way that you could fight it is when you fight it with Torah, supporting Torah and learning Torah. So I want to tell you a great story. I remember as a child, I learned in the Yeshivat Torah Vadas. And I remember that we had boys from Panama in those days. I'll tell you their names. It was the Zakheim brothers. Some of you may know them. Maybe they still have family in Panama. But one of the Rebbes, Rab Moshe Samuels, who was a Rebbe of the Zakheim brothers, he told over this story. He had a Rebbe. His Rebbe was Rab Shlomo Hyman, Zeichat Tzadik V'Kodesh Levracha. And one day in Williamsburg, there was a terrible snowstorm. And normally there were 20 boys in the class. But that day, only 4 boys showed up. And the 4 boys thought, well, the Rebbe is not going to teach any new Gemara. There's only 4 boys. But Rab Shlomo Hyman got so into the shiur, and he got so excited about the new Gemara that he was teaching. And one of the boys said something to him. Perhaps he shouldn't have said it. But he said, Rebbe, take it easy. There's only 4 boys here. And you know what the Rebbe said? He said, you think I'm only talking to you? I'm talking to you and to your children and to your grandchildren. I'm talking to you and to your students and to your students. And Rab Moshe Samuels, who was a Rebbe in Torah Vadas, who taught all these kids that came from South America, from Cuba, from Chile, from Argentina, from Panama, those were the boys he taught. And look what happened. They remained religious. Why? Because they had that Rebbe who had that Rebbe of Rab Shlomo Hyman. And that's why we come to support what is now going to be called the Yeshiva Chacham Sion Levy. Because when we support this holy school, we are not only supporting the Panamanian Jews and the Panamanian children that are there today, we are supporting future generations. And that's why it is so important to participate in this cause match. It's a 2-day campaign, and now when we donate, we are donating for the future of Klal Yisrael in Panama. And that's exactly what Chacham Sion Levy wanted to accomplish. He did not want to accomplish building a small community. He had great hasogot. He had great ideals. And that's why he was called the Ish HaEshkolos. It is my blessing to all of you that you should take this cause match seriously. And on this holy day of Tu B'Av, which Chazal tell us was such a great Yom Tov in Klal Yisrael, because that was the day when Shidduchim were made. And what are Shidduchim? Shidduchim are for families to keep on going in Klal Yisrael. Hashem should bench all of you, especially Rab Gabriel Abbo and his family, and all of you in Yeshiva Har Sinai that are now going to be called Yeshiva Chacham Sion Levy. You should be able to continue learning Torah, supporting Torah, until we all dance together with Mashiach. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for listening.
ברוכים הבאים, everybody. ברשות ראש ישיבה, ברשות הרבנים, the Kehal Kadosh. It's an honor and a pleasure to be part of this beautiful ma'amad. Thank you for giving us the zechut to be part of it, and Be'ezat Hashem, the Rosh Yeshiva, Rab Gabriel, and the entire Kahal with all Bnei Yisrael should be zocher lamshich la'alot ma'ala ma'ala b'torah v'yirat shamayim And Be'ezrat Hashem, kulanu biyachad to see the geula shelema b'mehera b'yameinu. Amen. In Parashat Pinchas, where the Torah speaks about the families of Bnei Yisrael, counts Bnei Yisrael, what's very interesting is that the Torah adds 2 letters to the family names. For example, the family of Chetzron, they're Mishpachat HaHetzroni. They get the letter Hey and the Yud, the Hey in the beginning and the Yud in the end. Another family, Hamul Hamuli. They get a letter Hey in the beginning and the Yud in the end. Of course, the letter Yud and Hey is from Shem Hashem. But then we get to a family that is called Fuva. And the Torah says, Lefuva Mishpachat Hapuni. And the Orah Hayim HaKadosh asks, where did the Nun come from? I understand the Hey in the beginning and the Yud in the end, but there's no Nun in Fuva. And he says something unbelievable. He says that the Lashon of Puni is lefanot, to empty out. Shetzarich lefanoto. We have to empty out. Mimotarot hamurgashot, from nonsense, from excess things that we don't need in our life. This family is under the Shevet of Yisachar. They learn Torah. They are the ones that are learning Torah. The mouth that is learning Torah certainly should not speak Lashon Hara or Rechilut or Devarim Asurim, like any Jew should not. But even from Devarim Beterim, what we call the Heki Balash, Kihem Mone'e Kiyum HaTorah Ba'adam, Umatzati, and he says, I found Lehasidei Yisrael, Shekatvu, that wrote, Ki Peh Shel Lomedei Torah, the mouth of the ones that are learning Torah, Dino Kekli Sharet Asher Yisharetu Bamba Kodesh. A Kli Sharet is a holy vessel that is used in the Beit HaMikdash, that is very holy. Imagine the fire pan, the shovel that the Kohen Gadol uses on Yom Kippur in the Beit HaMikdash. That's a Kli Sharet. That is a holy vessel that is used in the holiest place. The mouth of Bnei Yisrael, of the Lomedei Torah, says the Orah Hayim HaKadosh, it's Dino Kekli Sharet. It's a holy vessel. Ki ein Kedusha. Kekdushat HaTorah. What a line to review and to rehearse, like every line in our entire Torah. En kedusha kekdushat HaTorah. There is no holiness like the holiness of our holy Torah. V'lazeh asur ledaber bo afilu divrei chol. That's why we cannot use our mouth to talk even divrei chol. Forget devarim asurim. Hagam she'en behem devarim asurim. והוא מה שרמז במאמר לפובה שהוא פה העמל בתורה שבו שוכן חצי שמו יתברך משפחת הפוני, פירוש צריך לפנות מפיו כל חוץ מהגות התורה. Anything חוץ מהגות תורה, anything other than learning Torah. Of course, he has a family, that's not devarim betelim. Talking to the children, that's not devarim betelim. That's a mitzvah, for sure. He's talking about the nonsense, but he's showing us, look at what the mouth of someone that learns Torah is. It's a Kli Sharet. And Kedusha, Kekdushat HaTorah. The greatest thing that we could do in our life is to learn Torah. Maybe we could give another reason why the letter Nun is added to his name. Is because as we know in Parashat Pinchas, we have the holidays. Usually Parashat Pinchas comes right after Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the first parasha. We are showing our ratzon for the Beit HaMikdash, for the korbanot, for the holidays. We want to bring the korbanot Borei Olam. Right after Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, we usually read Parashat Pinchas, showing Hashem our ratzon for the Beit HaMikdash. Very appropriate, especially for the 3 weeks. And our rabbis tell us, I saw a phenomenal sefer bring down from all the phenomenal sefarim that we have, that he brings down that if you look at the name Pinchas, it actually hints to all the holidays that we have. The Peh hints to Pesach, Purim. Yud is Yom Kippur. Het of Pinchas is Chanukah, Chodesh, that's Rosh Chodesh, and of course Rosh Hashanah falls on the Rosh Chodesh, so that's also included in the Het. And Samech is Sukkot. One holiday is missing, Shavuot. Where's Shavuot? The Nun of Pinchas, which is in the middle, hints to Shavuot. And how does it hint to Shavuot? Because Nun is spelled Nun Vav Nun, which is Rashi Tevot, Na'aseh Venishma, which is what we said to accept the Torah. Maybe that's how you could say that hints to Shavuot. But also, the 50th day after Pesach is Shavuot. Tisperu Hamishim Yom. Shavuot does not have a date in the calendar. It's all based on Pesach. 50 days after Pesach, we have Shavuot. The gematria of the letter Nun is 50. The letter Nun hints to Shavuot, and Mishpahat HaPuni is getting the letter Nun. They're the ones that also, they learn Torah. We are seeing that the greatest gift that we have is to learn Torah, and the greatest mitzvah that we could do is to learn Torah, and the mouth that we learn Torah with is a kli sharet, and ein kedusha kikdushat haTorah. The Chafetz Chaim, in this week's parasha, Parashat Matot, he says on the pasuk, Ve'et Bil'am ben Be'or haregu beharev. They killed Bil'am with a sword. Why do I need to know that they killed Bil'am with a sword? They killed him, that's the point. How they killed him, really, does it make a difference? Well, obviously it does if it's in the Torah. But why do I need to know that they killed Bil'am with a sword? So Rashi says, because Bil'am Harasha, how did he try to attack Bnei Yisrael? With the power of Bnei Yisrael. The power of Bnei Yisrael is our mouth. As the pasuk says, Al tiri'i tola'at Yaakov. Don't be scared. Tola'at Yaakov. Bnei Yisrael are called Tola'at Yaakov. Interesting name for Bnei Yisrael. Tola'at means a worm. Why are we called Tola'at, worm, Yaakov? Because if you look at a worm, no hands, no feet. How does it make the silk? How does it produce? With the mouth. The power of the worm is in the mouth. The power of Bnei Yisrael as well is in the mouth. Bnei Yisrael are being compared to a tola'at. The same way a tola'at's power is in the mouth, Bnei Yisrael's koach, its strength and power, is in the unbelievable Peh Kadosh, mouth of Bnei Yisrael. So what did Bil'am ben Be'or want to do? He wanted to attack Bnei Yisrael with their weapon. Our weapon is the mouth. So he tried using his mouth against Bnei Yisrael. So what did we do? Midah keneged midah. We flipped it on him. And we came against Bil'am with his weapon, which is the sword. As the pasuk says, Ve'al harbecha tehiyeh. The weapon of the goyim is the sword. So we killed Bil'am with the sword because we used his keli umanut, his weapon, against him, the same way he tried using Bnei Yisrael's weapon, our mouth, against us, and he tried cursing, and he was not successful, Baruch Hashem. So we retaliated and used his weapon against him. And he says, Mizen nir'eh, says the Hafetz Hayim, shekeli ha'umanut shel ha'ish ha'Yisraeli, our weapon, our tool is hu hadibur, the speech. Uchmo keli umanut hem hechrichiyim, the ta'asiyat kelim chadashim. The same way the keli umanut is so necessary to make kelim chadashim. And even if you take the Baal Melacha Hayuter Hacham Vecharutz Lo Yutzi Lapol Et Melacha Mi Baladei Kli Umanut. Take a dentist. Imagine you see a dentist in the middle of the street. Imagine you see a doctor. Imagine you see a painter, and you say, "Can you please come to my house and paint the walls?" Yeah, I just have to go real quick. I'll get my tools. No, we don't have time. Just come. What do you mean you don't have time? Just come. Without a paintbrush, I can't paint your house. He'll say. A dentist, if he doesn't have his bag of tools, he doesn't know if he has cavities. He doesn't have an X-ray machine. He doesn't have that small little mirror. How is he going to know? He needs his tools. A doctor needs his tools in order to do his occupation. A basketball player without sneakers, he's not going on the court. Come on, if you're the best basketball player on the courts, then go play. What do you need sneakers for? Without sneakers, he's not going on the court. Twisted ankle, injury, out for the season. Who knows what could happen? Ken hu ha'adam im koach hadibur. So to a Yehudi with the ability to speak, the koach, the gift of speech. Shenatan lo b'matana yachol livro shamayim v'aretz. We could create heaven and earth. Kakatuv, as the pasuk says in Yeshaya, vehu ki b'divrei ha'kidusha she'adam medaber bazeh ha'olam, with the dibur that we speak. Lifnei Hashem yitbarach nivraim lema'la olamot u'malachim kedushim. We're able to create olamot, worlds, and malachim, angels. ועל כן על האדם להשגיח שלא יקלקל את הכלי האומנות שלו, not to ruin the dibur, because the greatest gift is to learn Torah. We use our mouth to learn Torah. And as the Yerushalmi brings Rashbi that says, if I was at the time of Matan Torah, says Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, I would have prayed to Hashem to create us with two mouths, one for Torah and one for everything else. And if a person, Has v'Shalom, uses his mouth the wrong way, and he's not speaking Torah, he's ruining the gift. Ela yedaber behem b'divrei Torah, utfilah, ukdusha, and that is the greatest mitzvah that we could do. The greatest way to cleanse a person from avirot is by using the koach hadibur to learn Torah, to speak Torah. That is how a person's able to do teshuvah for any avirah. Sometimes people would come to Hacham Ovadia and they would ask him, Rabbi, what's the greatest way to do teshuvah? We're getting ready for the Yamin Noraim, and every day should really be like Elul. And Elul, like the Mashgiachim say, certainly should be like Elul. What is the greatest way to do teshuvah? Of course, to leave the avirot and to learn Torah. The greatest koah in the world to do teshuvah, a person really wants to do teshuvah, to learn Torah. Leave the avirah and to learn Torah. Ein kedusha kikdushat haTorah. And the Chafetz Chaim says, as we see in Parashat Matot, that when they came back from the war with the vessels of the Midyanim, they had to purify the vessels before they used it. It's absorbed, it's swallowed with their shekasim and rimasim and nevelot, utrefot. They can't use the pots and pans of the Midyanim. So first, they had to take off any tum'ah, any garbage, any rust, any impurity, physical impurity, and they had to take it off the pot. And then, the same way the pot swallowed the impurity, that's how they took it out. How did they take out the impurity? The same way it went in. If it went in through al-ha'esh, fire, they were making a shawarma, then that's how they're going to take out that impurity, putting it into the libun, they're going to put it in the fire, and they're going to take out the impurity. If the tum'ah went in with water, then they have to get the tum'ah out through water. Doing hag'alah, putting the pot in hot water. The Hafetz Chaim says, that's how it is also for a neshama that wants to do teshuvah. You want to do teshuvah, take off the impurities, leave the avirot, put them out, take them out, and then burn the avirot out. How is a person going to burn avirot out? The Torah is compared to fire. The Torah is compared to fire. When a person is learning Torah, he is burning the tum'ah and he is purifying himself. One of the greatest things that we could do in our life, especially someone that wants to do teshuvah for any avirahs, to leave the avirah and to mitchazek belimud haTorah. In Parashat Mas'ei, we learn about the travels of Bnei Yisrael. And it's amazing that there were 42 stops that they made. 42 stops, and of course, as we know, the 42 stops, there were tikkunim that they had to do. They were fixing. They didn't just travel pointlessly and aimlessly. There was a reason they were traveling, and they were fixing as they were traveling. Spiritually, they were fixing. And the number 42 is a very interesting number because it comes up other times in the Torah. Not only did they travel 42, the number 42 comes up to the Ir Miklat. When it comes to the Ir Miklat, we also see the number 42. How many cities of refuge are there? If someone killed by mistake and he has to run away for his life, and he has to run to the city of refuge, how many are there? So there's 6 main ones, and then there's the cities of the Leviim that are also able to protect a person. How many cities of Leviim are there? Exactly 42. How interesting it is that someone that wants to fix or wants to be saved runs to 42, one of the 42 cities. How amazing it is to see that so too someone that wants to fix spiritually, he should also run to the number 42. What is the number 42? If you see in the Torah where it says to learn Torah, it says V'dibarta bam. Learn bam. What's bam? Learn Torah. Bam hints to the Torah. The Torah Shebichtav starts with the letter Bet, Bereshit. The Torah Sheba'al Peh starts with the letter Mem, Me'ematai. Bam is hinting to the Torah Shebichtav and to the Torah Shebe'al Peh. So you have the Bam. What's amazing is the Bam is also Gematria Mem Bet, 42. If a person wants to be saved, he should run to the Bam. He should run to the 42. He should run to the Holy Torah. When we run to the Holy Torah, the Torah is able to metaher, to purify, to cleanse a person. In Kedusha ta Torah. What's amazing to see is that's not the only time we see the number 42 in regards to our Holy Torah. If you take a Sefer Torah and you count the lines in the Sefer Torah, there are 42 lines in a Sefer Torah. Unbelievable. How beautiful it is that our Ir Miklat, our city of refuge, to protect, to metaher a person, is the Bet Midrash. That's the Ir Miklat. That's the city of refuge that we have today. The Bet Midrash. Like the Gemara says, and like my Talmid, Rab Abraham Cohen said, Bet Midrash is Bet Mem also. Mem Bet. Run to the Mem Bet. Run to the Bet Mem. Run to the 42. Run to the Bet Midrash. And Kedusha ta Torah. When someone is learning Torah, we're doing the greatest thing possible. And in a world that is so full of sheker and hevel, how important it is for Yehudi to have his da'at straight and to have it clear what we are here to do. Imagine somebody saw ducks in the middle of the road. I happened to see ducks yesterday. In the middle of the road, you see ducks. Unbelievable. Imagine I took out a check and I wrote $1,000 to the duck. I made it right there. I wrote the check to the duck. $1,000 mezuman. Here you go. And I put it on the floor. Is the duck going to even look at it? Is he even going to understand what it is? Can you imagine what he'll do? If I take a little piece of bread and I throw it to him, he'll take it, he'll grab it before he takes a check. And you look at him like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's a check, $1,000 is made out to Mr. Duck. Take it. He has no clue what you're talking about. In his world, that's worthless. That's really worthless in his world. And that's how it has to be for Yehudi, that we understand what is worthless and what is the most important. Not that money is worthless, of course. We have money in this world, and money is a way that a person goes about his day. We're not coming to mezalzel in the money, but it's not the ikar. It's just a means to an end to help a person grow, to get closer to Borei Olam. If he needs the money so he could support his family, phenomenal. But it's not the goal. The goal is Torah, Misvot, Uma'asim, Tovim. Imagine a man comes home and he tells his wife, Rohi, today I bought 2 hotels. What? You bought 2 hotels? Are you serious? Yeah, I bought 2 hotels today and I made $500,000 cash. Come on. You're joking. Serious? I'm serious. I didn't buy any 2 hotels in Tennessee. I bought 2 hotels on the boardwalk. No, come on. He says, yeah, you want to see the money? I'll even show you the cash that I made. What? What are you talking about? You show me the cash that you made? And he puts his hand in his pocket and he takes out $500,000 Monopoly money. Here you go. This is for you. She'll look at him and she'll start cracking up. Did he lie? He didn't say anything that's a lie. He made $500,000. He bought 2 hotels on the Monopoly board. It was on boardwalk, not in Tennessee. Everything that he said was true. One problem. That's only worth something in your La La Land, in your game of Monopoly, who you're playing with. Outside the game of Monopoly, take your $500,000, go to the store. He won't give you a pack of gum for it. He'll look at you, he'll be like, excuse me, sir, please get out of the store. We don't use Monopoly money over here. In your La La Land of Monopoly, that is worth something. Outside the land of Monopoly, it's worthless. In Shamayim, what has a currency, an international currency, that's worth here and worth in Olam Haba, is Torah, Misvot, Uma'asim, Tovim. That is a currency that carries weight everywhere that a person goes. A person can go to Shamayim after 120, they don't care about his car, they don't care about his house. Habibi, Torah, Mitzvot, Ma'asim, Tovim. What do you have? Torah is the greatest mitzvah, learning Torah. And what we are here to do is to stay focused in our avodat Hashem. We're here to learn Torah, to get closer to Borei Olam, to do the mitzvot, to ma'asim tovim. And we have to know what has value and what does not have value. What has value, you spend your time, you grab it. What doesn't have value, what's worthless, What are you doing? Lefanot. Mishpahat hapuni. Lefanot. All the excess. To stay focused. Ben Torah is supposed to stay focused, realizing what counts for a Yehudi. Rabbi Manso once told us, sometimes in the Gemara, you see two rabbis arguing. Abaye and Rabbi. And then the Gemara tries to reconcile the argument. And the Gemara maybe says a statement. And then the Gemara will say, Lekule alma, everyone agrees that's going to be okay. What does that mean, Lekule alma? There's only two rabbis here. Lekule alma, the whole world? The whole world doesn't know they exist probably. The whole world doesn't know what they're doing. The whole world doesn't value Torah. What's Lekule alma? To the rabbis, this was the whole world. Lekule alma, they're the rabbis. The Torah is the whole world. They understand what has true currency. They understand what is valuable and what's hawa and what's worthless. And that's what a Yehudi has to have clear. In Kedushat Torah, there is nothing greater than learning Torah. What a zechut it is today to have the great yeshiva of Rab Gabriel, the Rosh Yeshiva. Remember the Rosh Yeshiva from Eretz Israel, and it's so beautiful to see what he's doing to the community, and it's unbelievable to see as well the boys that I was in the yeshiva with back in Mikdash Melech, going close to 20 years ago. How the boys today are leaders of this beautiful congregation, the Kahal, the Panamanian community, and what is happening and what Panama is doing to the entire world. Panama's on the map as an Eid Torah. Panama's on the map. They're known for their kolel, for their Tamidei Hachamim. It is unbelievable what they have accomplished in the past few decades. And of course, all of this with tremendous mesirut nefesh from the great tzaddikim that they have and had. And of course, with the leader of this beautiful kahal, Sion Levy, Zecher Tzaddik V'Kadosh Bracha. And how beautiful it is that the ones that have stepped up to by the name of the yeshiva are calling the yeshiva Yeshivat Sion Levy. What a beautiful kavod for the rabbi. What a beautiful kavod for the Torah. These are the Panamanians. Zemi Shelanu. These are ours. This is Bnei Yisrael. Ahavat Torah. Kavod Torah. So wonderful, so beautiful. En kemo koach haTorah. Sur mera va'aseh tov. How does a person change? Stay away from bad. Va'aseh tov. And tov ela Torah. And when it says tov, it's referring to Torah lecha ora. Of course, it's always referring to Torah. And we can maybe derech Torah say that's what it's referring to also over here. As it says, Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. We could say this pasuk is hinting what a person should be doing. Sur miras, stay away from the bad. Va'aseh tov. Go for the greatest mitzvah. Go for the greatest mitzvah to learn Torah. The most greatest mitzvah and powerful mitzvah is to learn Torah. Be'ezrat Hashem, the wonderful community of Panama should be zocheh lamshich lagdil Torah ul adira, and to continue producing tzaddikim, tamidei hachamim. And you should all be zocheh to see nahat dikdusha mikol yotze'eh halatzechem עוסקים בתורה ויראת שמיים בעזרת השם מתוך עושר אין בריאות וחומר דמיטב continuous סייעתא דשמיא. And again to the Rosh Yeshiva, Hazak u'Baruch, you should be zocheh to make these wonderful diamonds that you have shine the world with their Torah, with their midot, with their ma'asim tovim. Kahal Kadosh, you have a wonderful, unbelievable dugma, Rosh Yeshiva that's able to build. And Be'ezrat Hashem will be zocheh together to see continuous semachot vagil, and bekarov to see the geula shilema b'mera b'yamenu. Amen ve'amen. Hizku ve'imsu.